What's your mic number? What's your mic number?
Oh, two.
This is the International Experience. You're listening to music from China. If you're now joining us, we want to welcome you to today's show. I'm your host, Tandieka. And today joining us will be our guest. I'm so excited to have him on our show. Our first male guest. Yay! Scotty. And Scotty is from China. And Scotty will be talking with us this afternoon about his international experience, about coming to China. Coming from China to live in New York, to study in New York, and we're so excited to have Scotty. Scotty also works in the office of the Lubin office of external relations with me as a graduate assistant, and we're so excited to have him today. He's going to tell us some more about the music that we're listening to, and we're just going to have a chat about his life in just a bit. Enjoy the music. What's your mic?
Huh?
What's your mic number?
Two.
Okay. I'm just gonna ask you, like, why did you select these songs or whatever, but not like.
I actually don't. I'm tone deaf, so I don't listen to music myself. I asked my friend for recommendations.
Oh.
So I can talk about it. That's fine. But I couldn't tell you much about the song because I
Okay.
don't really listen to it.
Okay. Thank you for joining us. You're listening to the International Experience. It's October 22 in beautiful downtown New York. I'm your host, Tandieka, and we're joining you from the Pace Studios of WPUB Radio. And today we are going to China. Not a literal trip, but a virtual trip in our minds. We're going to China. And we're being joined today by Scotty. Scotty is one of the graduate assistants in the Office of Communications and External Relations here at Lubin. And Scotty will be chatting with us about his life and his experience. Welcome to the show, Scotty.
Thank you for having me here.
It's so cool to have you because you're our first male guest.
So glad.
So you're kind of breaking the mold. All of the women that have been here before, we appreciate them, we love them, but it's always great to have men and to hear them speak about their experiences as well. So, Scotty, can you start by telling us where are you from in China and what was it like growing up there?
I'm from Chongqing, China. It's like central China. It's a little bit to the south and kind of location-wise, kind of like Oklahoma to the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the middle of.
I like that you made that analogy so people can understand.
Yeah, it's like in the center of China, not close to anything. But I mean, it's a famous city within China because back then, during the World War II, it was the capital city of China. So before they moved the capital to Beijing, so it has a lot of historical side and historical value. Right now, it's one of the biggest city, one of the top 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Has 8 million population, same size as New York.
Wow.
It's very dense. populated.
That's very large compared to Ghana. We have less than 1 million. So tell us about why you came to New York. How did you end up in New York and at Pace?
So I didn't come to New York directly. I left China coming to the US in 2010. I started high school in Boston, but I went to an international high school and it was all Chinese student, and at the time didn't speak English at all. So I was always friends with all the Chinese students and we never speak English. I never learned anything. So after one semester I was like, can be like this, I have to learn. So I applied to a school in Georgia, Savannah, Georgia, and I transferred there for 2.5 years, learned my language, but I also start thinking about, I want to live in big city because Savannah, Georgia is like countryside. There's nothing there. So I was like, which city is the best city to go for? New York.
Yeah,
so
of course.
I went to New York.
The Big Apple.
Yeah, the Big Apple.
Oh, that's cool. So how did you tell us about your trajectory, and how did you end up choosing Pace to do your studies, like your post high school studies?
At the time, I was like, I get pressured a lot by my father, specifically. My mom don't care. But my father, my father is a businessman in China. He was like, you need to do something like that will help me in the future. So he want me to go for business. So at the time, I think I applied a couple schools in New York. I applied to NYU, Baruch, Pace University, and a couple schools in Boston because I didn't mind going back to Boston. But I was like, Pace gave me the best offer out of everything, and I got into the Pace Honors School. So it covered the majority of my tuition. And I was like, okay, I will go to Pace because it's cheaper.
It's cheaper. I know that's why. I mean, apart from the fact that Pace is a really great school,
it is.
One of the reasons why I'm here at Pace also is, of course, because it gives you the opportunity to have your tuition covered in scholarships and stuff like that. So I get to graduate debt free. So
Pace
yeah.
It's actually one of the best college I think about it because it helps so much with people helping students looking for a job. It's like focus on the actual practical stuff rather than just like, we don't care about, we just want them their tuition. They don't. You come in, we are going to help you with resume, help you with LinkedIn, help you with network, get you out there, get you a job. So at the time I was like, I was researching it at the time. I was like, Pace isn't like nationally on the ranking, isn't the best, but it has the top 3 careers.
Yes, that's one of the reasons why I chose Pace as well.
Me too.
There's a very high rate of students getting hired post-graduation, and that's important to me.
Best companies.
Yeah. If you're now joining us, you're listening to The International Experience. We're here every Tuesday from 12 to 1 on WPUB Radio, and you can listen to us live at WPUB.org. I'm your host, Tandieka, and every week I chat with a different international student or someone who is from one of the offices here at Pace that work with international students and is focused on offering services to international students. And today we're chatting with Scotty, and Scotty is from China. Chinese students or Chinese international students make up the largest part of the population here at Pace for international students. And we're so happy that Scotty could join us, and he was gracious enough to bring in some music. So I'm going to continue to play some of Scotty's music, and we're going to talk some more about that in a bit, about Chinese music and Chinese culture with Scotty. So enjoy. You're doing great. what? Do you know what he's singing about?
No.
Okay.
I'm like tone deaf. That means when singing, I couldn't pick up the lyrics. I couldn't pick up the tone or anything. So it's really hard. Like listening to music is like listening to white noise.
Oh, got
So
it.
that makes a difference. So that's why I don't really listen to
The
music.
music. Okay, got it.
But I can look it up if you want me to talk about it.
Yeah.
Which music is this one?
Huh?
Which one is this?
This one is J Chu. I.
Oh, Summer Day?
You're listening to WPUB Radio. I'm your host Tandieka, and of course today we're taking a trip to China, and you're listening to some music from Scotty. Scotty brought his music list with us today, and we're listening to music from China. And Scotty, tell us about what is he singing about?
The song of this music is Qing Tian. It's translated as like a summer day, like a sunny day. I mean, sunny day. It's about like in childhood, in the teenager years, that you meet the love of your life at the time. So you skip a class, you like wait outside of the classroom. You want to see the girl.
You want to hold hands all
hold
day.
hands, yeah.
It's so funny because even as adults, I see people still doing that. But
Yeah,
anyway.
I know it's cute. So I think the song's about like the singer, he's missing the time of that purity, love, that, you know, like you have your whole self out there waiting for the person, waiting for the love of your life. At the time, it seems very important. It's still important now, but like at the time, it's more pure. It's more like you want to spend time with her,
Yeah.
you want to hold hand or him, you know.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. I mean, I took the time to listen to your music list when you sent it to me, and I noticed that most of the songs, they're very, very somber. And I was talking to another Chinese student who works with me in our office, and she was telling me, you know, most of the songs, most Chinese songs are very slow. And they have a somber tone, and sometimes she was playing music at home, and her American friend said to her, why are you playing this sad music? Did your boyfriend break up with you or something? Are you sad? So I thought that was kind of funny, and it also shows like the difference in cultures or whatever. Can you tell us about like Chinese music in the whole, like what it's like?
I think in general, in our culture, we are less open in personality-wise compared to the U.S. Americans, compared to American. So we don't really present as very direct.
Yeah.
So when we are talking about we like someone, we try to hide it. It's like, oh, we compliment how they smell, we compliment how they act nice. We don't just tell them, oh, I love you, something like that.
Yeah.
We are very like, in general, Chinese people are very like, how do you say it? To themselves.
Reserved.
Reserved.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's the word I'm thinking of. They're very reserved, and we appreciate stuff that's very reserved. So
Yeah.
In a lot of our song, the song tend to be very settled. The lyrics tend to like talking about something else, but it's like reflecting about love, reflecting about family. They would talk about like this song just had like a lyrics about like how he is like waiting outside of the classroom and I didn't see you, and you are not like you I see the background of you in the ring. So it's not talking about how the teenager love is so pure, but he sings about all the things that's associated with.
Oh,
to
got it.
tell
It's not
how-
direct. Yes.
Yeah, it's not direct. It's like Chinese people talk in a circle.
So Chinese people talk like women.
Yes.
How women are accused of talking. They'll be talking circles or whatever, but not true.
Well,
if you're a woman like me, I'm very direct. So let's talk some more about you live in New York. What do you love most about New York, and what do you hate about New York?
What I love most about New York is how it's a city of diversity.
Yeah,
how
I
it's
love
a
that too.
city of like opening. It's like taking everyone like a big mom, like a big mother. Like I love you, I love you, I love you all. And what I hate about New York City is the MTA. I think every New Yorker agrees with me. I hate MTA. I love it. It's so convenient. It takes me to anywhere, everywhere I need to be. But at the same time, I hate it. It's like so crowded. It's hot in the summer. It's so cold in the winter, and it's so dirty. But I mean, I don't know. It's a love-hate relationship. I hate it. I love it. I can't live without it.
Yeah, I think you share the same sentiment of all New Yorkers, not just, immigrants or visitors or whatever. Yeah. I've been on the subway a couple of times in New York where like the lights went out,
No.
the heat went out, and I'm like, what is going on here? So I feel you on that hate thing there, right there. If you're not joining us, you are listening to the International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka. And today joining me is Scotty. And Scotty is an international student from China. And Scotty is sharing some of his experiences about being a student in New York City and here at Pace with us. And we're just having a nice little chat while we're listening to some Chinese music. So here's some more Chinese music from Scotty's playlist for you. Enjoy.
That was good. That was fast. I just don't want to make it like accidentally make noise while.
Yeah. I mean, like I can hear you here in my recording, but I'm gonna edit or whatever before I
Okay.
post.
Oh, it's not aired right now.
No, I usually go live on Facebook.
Oh.
The radio is live.
Okay.
I usually go live on Facebook from my phone, but I decided that I'm just gonna do, because I want to be able to share it off of social media. So I'm just gonna like record it and then edit it, post it to YouTube, and that way I can share it everywhere.
Yeah. Or you can have like two songs, one live, one record.
This is true.
Yeah.
I need another phone.
Just ask your gas. You always have a phone.
Thank you for joining us. You're listening to the International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka, and we're chatting with Scotty today. Scotty is a graduate assistant in the Office of Communications and External Relations here at Lubin, and Scotty is from China, and he is chatting with us about his experience of being an international student. So, Scotty, what are you studying here at Pace?
I'm studying computer science right now.
Wow, really smart.
Thanks.
And I believe this is your second. Did you do your undergraduate here at Pace?
I did my undergrad here too.
What did you study for your
Public
undergrad?
accounting.
What? I'm sorry.
Public accounting.
Public accounting.
Yes.
So you're going for all the hard stuff. You did public accounting, and now you're doing computer science. What do you plan to do post graduation with those things? With those degrees?
I'm thinking of becoming a software engineering. I don't mind working. I would like to work in something like related to tech. Like I want to be in development, but I think learning about public accounting in undergrad prepare me for more of like a business environment. So I'm also looking for jobs that's in like fintech, like in business service company that do the development there. Like when you think about it, I would like to work in some company like TurboTax.
Yeah.
They
All
create-
STEM focused. Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you're on the right track. So let's talk some more about living in New York and living here in the U.S. Have you traveled outside of New York since you've been here?
Yeah. I've been to a lot of places.
So tell me about some of the places that you've been to.
The first city I came to the U.S. was Boston,
Mm-hmm.
and then I moved to Georgia, Savannah, Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And just in general traveling, I've been to California, I've been to Montana for the Yellowstone,
Mm-hmm.
been to Texas, been to Arizona,
Mm-hmm.
Grand Canyons there,
Yeah.
and Pennsylvania, all the surrounding state of New York. I've been to Florida too. So
What's your favorite state?
I think California.
Of course, it's the Sunshine State.
I know. I think Florida's the sunshine state.
Oh, it is. Well, yeah. Forgive me, Floridians, if I took that from you. Okay, but they both have sun.
Yeah, they both have sun. Like California is so nice. The weather there in San Francisco is amazing. I was there in the summer. It wasn't hot during
Mm-hmm.
the day. It was so cool at night too. Like you don't need an AC at all. It's just my friend was telling me the weather there is all year round like that.
Yeah.
That's just the best day.
Yeah, I would have to agree with you that I like going to Florida and California because it reminds me so much of home.
Mm-hmm.
Where we have 2 seasons, sun
Mhm.
and rain. So I really like visiting those states as well. I went to Newport Beach. That was an experience.
Oh, how was that?
That was great. It's different there. Very, very nice. Nice
Mhm.
beaches. It's great for shopping and stuff like that.
Mhm.
So I really enjoyed that. So what would you say is different or the same about the US and China?
I think the city life is really similar. Like you do the same stuff. You go to work during the day. You go out to drink. Go out have dinner with your friend at night, or like over the weekend you have a day trip somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's pretty similar. What is different about U.S. and China? I would say it's probably the culture, like how you deal with people. As I
Mhm.
said before, Chinese people are more reserved,
Yeah.
or less direct. So a lot of time you will have to think about what the other person actually mean to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
And in the U.S., I can count on people just straight up to my face.
Oh yeah.
Tell me if they like me or tell me they hate me. So,
Yes, of course. People are very direct here,
Yeah.
and especially so here in New York.
mhm.
If
New
you're
York.
now joining us, you're listening to the International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka. I'm here every Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. And basically, I give a platform to international students to share their culture and their experience of being an international student here at PACE and in the U.S. And we chat about their culture. And we're listening today to some Chinese music that Scotty has brought us. And I hope you enjoy this music.
就怕别人问起我，你们怎么了？你低着头护着我，连抱怨都没有。跟我开始躲，从不对我说，不喜欢一个人生活。离开我以后，要我好好过，难道让想自由的我，多少个时候你还在意着别人是怎么看我的？拼命坚持着，不是我的错，是你要求。眼看着你难过，温柔的话却没有说，别微笑放手，说还不如让我走。开始躲，从不对我说，你习惯一个人生活。离开我以后，要我好好过，怕打扰想自由的我。到这个时候，你还在意着别人是怎么看我的？拼命解释着，不是我的错，是你要走。
You're listening to the International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka. And just a reminder to international students, I know some of you do not read Myra's emails that she sends out every week, but if you're listening to me, just a reminder that as midterms approach, there are resources like the Writing Center and the Tutoring Center that are available to help you prepare for your midterm exams. Also, there's some exciting activities coming up this month in October. There's a Diwali celebration happening on the 25th at the Student Center at One Pace Plaza. Tickets are available and must be purchased in advance, so please contact the International Students and Scholars Office to find out how you can purchase tickets. Also remember that every Thursday they have their tea and coffee hour, and it's just an opportunity for international students to come together, chit chat, and of course meet with the staff of the Students and Scholars Office. And they're going to be having festive fall donuts and pumpkin flavored coffee and apple cider this Thursday. So if you're looking for something to do this Thursday between 3:25 and 4:25 p.m., check out the International Students and Scholars Office at 163 William Street. If you're now joining us, you're listening to the International Experience. I'm Tandieka, your host, and we're here every Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. just having a nice chat with international students and people from different offices here at Pace University, New York, who work with international students and who help international students to maneuver or navigate their time here. Our guest today is Scotty, and we're listening to some music from China, where Scotty's from. And after this song, we're going to continue talking with Scotty about his experience here. So every week I try to plug the international students and scholars their activities, because Myra was very nice to come on the show, and she's like been telling people about the show or whatever. So I try to support their efforts as they're supporting mine. And now in her weekly emails that she sends out, she has a blurb about my show in it.
Oh, nice. I can ask my friend. Tell them about it.
Yeah.
They like to on the show.
Yeah. So I don't know what she's saying, Scotty, but I love the music that accompanies the song. It sounds like jazz music, actually, and that's really cute. I like that.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite songs.
It is. I love jazz music. So let's continue to chat about your transition coming here to live in New York from China. So what do you miss most about home?
The food.
You know what? Every international person or expat I talk to, that's always their response about the things that they miss home. And, you know, that's one of the same things for me. Food. Yeah.
Like, it's New York, so you can get all different type of food here. But once you are outside of your city, your hometown, the food, no matter how close they are to the food,
it's never the same.
It's never the same.
Yeah,
so
I agree.
I kind of look for that type of flavor, but I feel like it's always different.
Yeah, it's always a little off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, for me, like, I try to sometimes try to find Guyanese food. I mean, I cook Guyanese food at home. But the only place that you can really find, like, really great Guyanese food is in Brooklyn or Queens. And that's so far from where I live.
I live in Queens, so you can come visit me.
Thank you, Scotty. I might take you up on that invitation and have you take me to Sybil's or one of those places, or German's for some soup.
Okay.
So, tell me, what was your biggest culture shock when you arrived here?
I think it's how direct people are. Like when I came here, I was still a Chinese student. I have been living in China for 15 years at the time. So.
Oh yeah, because you came when you were in high school.
Yeah. So I wasn't used to like people being so direct to me, and sometimes I also find it hard to explain myself to others because
Yeah.
like people are so direct. So when I'm talking in a circle, no one would understand what I'm trying to talk about. They're like, "What are you trying to say?" So I think that was a big culture shock, but like I was really quickly adjust to it because being direct isn't that hard.
Yeah.
For at the time for me, so I was like, okay, I learned to be very direct. I tell people how I think about stuff. So
Yeah, you adjust.
yeah, I adjust really quickly.
Yeah, and that's good.
That was a really big culture shock for me because like how people are so direct to each other.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh wow.
For me, I say I think one of my first experiences, or I wouldn't say it's a culture shock. Was it? Yeah. So my culture shock, I would want to say, had to do with getting around,
Oh,
like getting around with regards to transportation,
with public transport.
with public transportation.
Oh right, there's not that much public transportation here. Yeah.
So that was like a big culture shock for me. So when I lived in Guyana, I drove.
Mm-hmm.
So when I first got here, I would have to take the bus or the train to wherever I had to go. And in Jersey, I mean, there is the New Jersey transit system, which can be very unreliable. It's no better than MTA, I must say. But one of the biggest culture shocks with regards to getting around and using the transportation for me was that they drive on the opposite side of the road here.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I see.
Yeah, we have the British system. So they drive on the opposite side of the road here. So sometimes, so like I remember the first week, I was standing at the wrong bus stop.
Oh no.
I was standing at the wrong side of the road, on the wrong side of the road at the bus stop, waiting for a bus that was going, in the opposite direction. So like for me, that was one of my culture shocks. Like, and you take for granted so much. And at the time when I left Guyana, like Google Maps was not, you didn't need it. Like, I know where I'm going in Guyana. You jump in a car, or even if I'm taking public transportation, you know where you get off or whatever. You don't have to look anything up. But here's like, you have to look up everything, and I still do look up everything to get somewhere so that I don't end up lost somewhere in the Bronx or something. So yeah, that was my biggest culture shock. Just to share that with you. So let's talk some more about your student experience here at PACE. Are you involved in any clubs or any extracurricular activities?
So right now I am part of the PACE Artificial Intelligence Club.
Oh, that's cool.
The PACE AI Club. We are just a club of group of students from the computer science, data science background. We are very interested in artificial intelligence. We're very interested in machine learning, deep learning. So we do projects, we do events around those topics. It's an open club, anyone can join. We have a meeting on Thursday, 4:30 to 5:30 in the PACE Seidenberg Lounge. So anyone want to come join us can come join us.
Yeah, and there, Scotty just invited all of you listening to join the AI Club. I think that's pretty cool. If I only knew anything about tech, I would come join you guys. Or is it open to non-tech people as well?
I started PACE from a different background for the computer science degree, and I joined the AI Club without any knowledge about AI, and that's actually how I learned about a lot of new technology, new things, because we do host events very frequently. To teach students, like it's a club to advocate for AI, because AI is not a robot from the movie that's gonna kill us
from
all.
the movie Her. That takes over your life and whatever.
No, it's not like that. It's more for like it's more primitive than that. It's like right now AI is just doing like data filtering, helping us to make our life easier. But I don't think it will ever get to the point that's gonna wipe us out. I get that. A lot of people watch too many Hollywood movies and think about, oh my god,
unrealistic Hollywood movies sometimes.
Well, that would be cool, but the movies are cool.
And that's cool. So if you're an international student and you're looking for a club to join, I think that's a pretty cool club to join. As Scotty mentioned, you don't have to have a tech background or be in Seidenberg to join it. You meet on Thursdays at 4:30 in the Seidenberg Lounge. If you're now joining us, you're listening to the International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka, and we're having a nice chat this afternoon with Scotty, who's a graduate student here at Pace, and he's studying computer science. He's an international student from China. And you're listening to Scotty's music while we talk with him about his experience here in New York and the US in general. So we're going to have you listen to some more of his music before we continue chatting. So enjoy.
我可以看见敌人的伤悲，那一双爱笑眼睛不是会流泪。
I'm surprised it's not as hot today. I guess they put on this cool thing to kind of cool down the room. But usually, oh Jesus, this room is on fire. It is.
There's no air coming.
There's no air.
I think
And you can't put on like a big AC or whatever because the noise
Yeah.
is gonna affect, you know,
Yeah.
the audio output.
手心的蔷薇，刺伤而不自觉，你值得被疼爱，你懂我的期待，绚烂后枯萎，经过几个月。
This song kind of takes me back to my conversation I was having with the other grad assistant, earlier, where she said her friend asked her if, you know, she broke up with her boyfriend or whatever. It sounds so sad but beautiful at the same time, like very sentimental.
Yeah, the songs tend to be very sentimental in China. We do have like rap music.
Yeah,
like,
I did hear some rap music one
yeah,
time.
Hip hop music. I think for some reason I just put the playlist songs like this. I don't know why I did that. I should have put every kind of.
But I like it. I mean, usually every week I feature different music, and it's like very hip hoppy and punky sometimes. But it's nice to take a different curve and just be somber. And I like this type of music. Sometimes in the middle of the day, when people meet that midday hour, they can be like, oh, I'm so, you know.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like nice to relax and whatever. So yeah, enjoy Scotty's music from China. I hope you're enjoying it wherever in the world you're listening to. I want to say good afternoon to everyone in the Lubin School of Business who listen to our show every Tuesday. Everyone in Seidenberg who may be listening because Scotty's on today. Everyone who's listening from Guyana, Canada, New York, wherever you are and you're listening, thank you for listening. And of course, join us every Tuesday from 12 to 1 at wpub.org. You can listen live from your cell phone or your laptop. And we have some interesting conversations with international students every week. And I hope that you will continue to listen and continue to join us. Look out for us. We're going to be having a YouTube channel coming up where we're going to post some of the interviews that we do every week here on the show. So look out for that. And yeah, here is Scotty's music for you to enjoy.
手心的蔷薇，是来自的纪念。整理好眼泪，但我接受世界太虚伪，太善变，不完美，天会黑，心会累，永远在什么？
You're listening to the International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka, and we're chatting with Scotty, who is a graduate student in Seidenberg, and he is studying computer science. And Scotty is originally from China. Scotty's been here in the U.S. since he's about 15 years old, right?
Yeah.
And so he has a lot of international student experience to share with us. How has PACE been preparing you, or not been preparing you, to accomplish your goals?
I think PACE prepared me so well. I've been to the career service so many times. Like, they added my resume, they helped me with my cover letter, they prepped me for interviews and everything. So I think I'm market ready, and I used to went to undergrad here before too. So I went out right after undergrad and worked at a big company, Big Four in public accounting.
Oh, that's cool.
And so you can tell like PACE did prepare me very well. And I did pretty good at a Big Four, and until one day I decided to come back to school for some reason.
Oh.
So right now I'm doing a lot of self-studying, and PACE also have tutoring center helping me with school academic questions that help me solve problems. And I know like PACE is one of the places that like want you to be ready, want you to success. So whenever or whatever type of question, problem I have, I can always find someone to help me.
Yeah, you're so right. I like that. I find career services to be very supportive. I hope to have them on the show, come on to talk at some point to international students about their services that they offer and how they've been assisting international students. I found a really great internship this summer that I did with a nonprofit through Handshake, which is this, you know, the on-campus service that they have online that you can apply for jobs or whatever. And this was after I met with career services to go over my resume, and I completed the Inspire training, which is something that international students are required to do before they do internships and stuff. So I think that they're pretty good, and we're going to have them on at some point to come on and talk about how they assist international students here at PACE. So yeah, that's pretty cool. If you could sum up your overall experience as an international student in one word, what would it be?
I thought about that actually for a long time. It's really hard. I feel like it's adventurous because when I came to the U.S., everything's new. I'm far from home, so it's like an adventure.
Yeah.
Everything is an adventure to me. So I guess that's the best word for it.
Yeah, I like that. It is. It has been an adventure for me as well as an international student. So I can relate, and we can swap stories. But yeah, if you're now joining us, you're listening to the International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka, and we're on every Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. at wpub.org. You can listen to us live. Every week we feature an international student or someone from one of the offices here at PACE University. And we talk about the services and opportunities and the ups and downs, even the bad stuff that we have experienced as international students. We want you to hear our stories. And so every week we're on. And if you're now joining us, we encourage you to tell a friend to listen to us every week. You're listening to music from China, and this is Scotty's playlist that he has shared with us. If you are an international student and you are interested in coming on the show and sharing about your culture with us, you can send me an email at tjohnson3@pace.edu. That's TJOHNSON, the number 3 at pace.edu. And yeah, we'll just have a chat, and then you can come on the show and tell us about your culture. If you're now joining us, you're listening to The International Experience. I'm your host, Tandieka, and every Tuesday we're on from 12 to 1 p.m. And today we have Scotty as our guest. Scotty is from China, and you're listening to some music from Scotty's Chinese playlist. And again, just a reminder to international students, if you're interested in appearing on the show, you can send me an email at tjohnson3@pace.edu. And I'd be happy to talk with you about coming on the show to share with us about your culture and your music. I want to talk a little about an upcoming event that I'm a part of. It's called Pace Talks, and basically this event is being put on by Tandieka, and which is the Student Development and Campus Activities organization, and they're having the very first version of a TED Talk here at Pace, their version of TED Talk, and it's called Pace Talks. And there are going to be 6 student speakers, and I'm one of them. So I encourage you to stick around on the 29th. It starts, I believe, at 7 p.m. and it's going to be at the Student Center at 1 Pace Plaza. So if you are interested in hearing some students talk about authenticity, then you should join us. There's going to be 6 student speakers as well as 2 speakers from outside sharing about their experiences of authenticity, and we hope that you will come. We're chatting with Scotty and listening to some of Scotty's music. So Scotty, what has been your most memorable experience to date as an international student?
I think one thing that is really important to me is like how I feel about I started like first day of job after I graduated from Pace, and a lot of international students, like they came to the US, they have no family here or they have no friends here. It's like a brand new country, brand new culture. They don't know if they're gonna success, if they don't know how their future life is gonna be.
Yeah.
So when I started my first day of job after I graduated, I feel like, oh, I'm here, I made it.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's just like
A sense of accomplishment.
yeah, a sense of accomplishment, and I was feeling really happy. And I remember I was actually a little bit late that day because the train MTA
MTA again.
for an hour, and that was my first day. I was like, okay, I have to be on time. I left an hour early, and that day the train messed up so bad. I got stuck on the train for an hour, and I got to work exactly on, because it's training the first day, exactly on time. But I walked in, I met a lot of other newcomers at the company, and I made like lifetime friends. And at that time, I was like, oh, I'm here, I'm working, I'm making money, and I feel like I have accomplished something.
Yeah. I feel you with that one. You know, just being able, post-graduation, you know, you feel like, okay, so I came here, I made my mark, and now what next? And then to know that you have the opportunity to show what you learned in a work capacity, that's amazing. And every time I come on the show, I talk to, you know, international students about that, getting that opportunity to work post-graduation. It's sometimes a challenge, not always easy to find. We spoke with Anna a couple of weeks ago. She's one of the success stories of international students who have been through it but got hired post-graduation. And we're going to have an expert actually coming on the show in upcoming weeks who work with international students in terms of preparing them for post-graduation, helping them to find internships and jobs and stuff like that. So look out for that. I'm going to be promoting it on my social. You can follow me on Instagram at Tandieka. My name, it's just Tandieka. And on Facebook. And look out for that. And you want to listen to that show when I have her on to talk. She was also an international student herself, and now she helps or works with international students to helping them to find work. So we're going to be talking about that. It's very important. What is the one myth? I know every culture has a myth. Every culture has a myth, or people assume something about them. So that isn't always true, you know. What is the one myth about Chinese that you've heard since being here and you would like people to know isn't true?
So we eat everything. I know. People are like, oh my god, you must eat dogs. Oh my god, you must eat cat. Oh my god, you must eat spiders, ants, caterpillar, firefly. I just joking about the rest. But like, so China has a long history of like, in general has a long history. There's a good time, there's a bad time.
Mm-hmm.
So when there's like a war within China, so people had people at the time, like 100 years ago, 1,000 years ago, they had to eat whatever is available.
Yeah.
So that's how
scarcity of food. Yeah.
Yes, that's how the cultures came from. So that's why we had so many ways to cook, like the inside of the animal, like intestine, liver, heart, and kidneys and everything. So, but it's not like it's just part of culture. But like dog is something. It's like we don't really eat dogs. Like maybe 20 years ago when people think dog as a food, but now everyone thinks dogs is our pets, our family members, our friend. Like I'm telling you, some people's parents they get a dog, they're like, oh, I'm gonna leave my money to the dog, not to the kid. So you know, we don't eat dogs, we don't eat cat. That's a myth.
That's a good myth to debunk, Scotty.
Yeah.
I have heard that one before. I'm going to admit it. That's why I'm laughing so much.
Yeah, I know. I was like, what myth do we have? We eat dogs.
That's a good one to debunk. If you are now joining us, you're listening to the International Experience. And our guest today has been Scotty, who is a graduate student in Seidenberg studying computer science. Scotty is also a graduate assistant in the Office of Communications and External Relations here at Lubin. And he was our guest, and we're so grateful for having him on the show today. Thank you, Scotty. Thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me here. I'm very happy to be here.
And thank you again, of course, for sharing your music with us. It was a nice slowdown from previous weeks. We were playing a lot of, as we would say in Ghana, jump up music. So it was a nice slowdown, and we encourage you to join us every Tuesday from 12 to 1. We're on. Just a reminder of some of the events and activities that are coming up here at PACE. There's a Diwali celebration that's happening. I believe the International Students Association or the International Students and Scholars Office. If you need more information on that, just reach out to them. And they can tell you all about that, and you need to purchase tickets before the event if you'd like to attend. I think I had attended the Pagua celebration last year, and the food was amazing, so I have no doubt that the food is going to be the same for Diwali. So you should look out for that and check out, find out how you can get tickets to attend that event. Also, next Tuesday, October 29th at 7 p.m. Tandieka is going to be having their very first PACE Talks, which is our version of TED Talk, and we're going to be having 6 featured student speakers. I am one of those speakers, and 2 outside speakers are going to be joining us. The outside speakers, I believe, are Lenny Williams and Jeff Des, and we have 6 student speakers: myself, Tandieka Johnson, Rashida Cupid, Ileana M. Oriel, Wafa Neka, Jade Flanagan, and Ricardo Enrique. And if you have nothing to do on Tuesday, or even if you do, come check us out. We're going to be in the Student Center at One Pace Plaza, and it starts at 7 p.m. And we encourage you to come. It's a TED Talk style event which will showcase dynamic student speakers and outside speakers. And the topic for that night is authenticity. We want to thank you for joining us this week again on the International Experience. Remember, we're here every Tuesday from 12 to 1 p.m. And you can listen to us live at wpub.org. I love you for listening, and thank you so much. Join us again next week. Every week I come, I forget that I'm supposed to tweet from their Twitter account, the radio station's Twitter account, that you can
17 hours.